Hello, welcome to another edition of our Journey to Financial Freedom. I am Sheila Wilkinson-Sanders. Today we are going to talk about building your net worth. If you are going to be financially free, you need to spend a lot of time looking at your net worth and ways that you can build your net worth. Last year during our journey to debt freedom, we talked a little bit about net worth, and so I'm not going to go back through that. You can go back to last year's videos to look at that. But just remember that your net worth is the net of your assets less your liabilities. And your assets are, cash, money market, stocks, bonds, real estate, cars in some situations, anything with value less your liabilities, which are your debt, your mortgage, your car payments, your student loans, your credit card debt, anything that you owe to anyone else. And remember last year I gave you the disturbing statistic that the average American has a net worth of about $150,000, and that's before you take into effect the home that they live in. When you take out the home they live in, the average American's net worth is about $50,000. That's a very disturbing statistics because in order to retire, you really should have a net worth in the seven digits, not in the six digits or the five digits. So we're going to spend a lot of time this year talking about ways to help you build your net worth. Toward the end of the year, I had a friend who was speaking to me. He was all excited because he had been out shopping to one of the major department stores here, and he had gotten a 50% discount coupon in the mail, and the store had a 50% sale going on, and then if you were in the store you got another 20%. So he was telling me that he had gotten all these great deals on items that he had gotten at this store. And so, I was excited for him, and I said, so tell me, how much did you spend? And so he said about $300 and some. And I said, okay, so let me ask you a question. How much do you make per hour? And he said, well, I'm salaried. I don't have an hourly wage. And I said, okay, well, take your gross annual salary divided by 2,000 and tell me what that number is. And he said about 35. And I said, okay, so you're worth $35 an hour. And so if you spent about $350, that means you're going to have to work 10 hours to pay for those purchases. So he stopped and he looked at me. He said, so are you trying to tell me I should take this stuff back? And I said, no, I'm not trying to tell you anything. You have to do what's important for you. But what I'm saying to you is those purchases, in order to pay for them, you're going to have to work 1.2 days when you go back in January, or 10 hours in order to pay for those purchases. So were those purchases worth 10 hours of your time? And that's how you have to look at everything that you do in life. You have to look at, is it worth what you're worth? Is it worth your time in order to purchase that, in order to do that, everything that you do in life? When I had my real estate company, and I'm big on plans and goals and all, and I would sit down with my realtors either at the end of the year or at the beginning of the next year, depending on how their lifestyle, and we would talk about goal planning. And I always said to them, tell me what you think you are worth. What is your worth? So it's a little bit different when you're self-employed than when you are employed by an employer. Just a little different, and we'll talk a little bit about that in future episodes. But I would ask them, what did they think they were worth annually? And then we would break it down to what they were worth hourly. Now, those 2,000 hours that I talked about a few seconds ago was based upon someone working 40 hours a week, 50 weeks a year. Most folks get 2 weeks vacation, so you might want to divide that by 2,080, which would be 40 hours for 52 weeks. But you want to figure out what your hourly worth is, and everything that you do, you want to figure out, is it worth you spending the time to do it? As a self-employed, one of the things that I always encourage folks to do is to figure out what tasks you should do versus what tasks you should pay someone else to do. So if you think that you're worth $50 an hour, is it worth it for you to do clerical duties for 8 hours, which would cost then $800 of your time, versus paying someone maybe $100 a day to do that task? And then you could spend those 8 hours doing more important things that are going to bring in revenue for you. As an employee, one of the things that I encourage you to do is to determine what your net worth is per hour based on your gross salary. And then determine, first of all, are you happy with that number? Are you happy in this situation with being worth $35 an hour? Do you think that you're worth $100 an hour, or whatever the case may be? After you look at that number, I want you to do a little research. People always compare themselves to their coworkers, but that may not be a really good comparison. You want to compare yourself to the industry. So you remember, Google is our friend. So I want you to go out and Google your profession and see what the average salary is for that profession. Are you getting what you are worth in that profession? Are you getting at the low end? Are you getting in the middle? Are you getting at the higher? Or maybe you're not even in that bracket at all. And then we will talk in future episodes about things that you can do to increase the net worth in your current profession. The other things I want you to consider as we talk about net worth and building your net worth is understanding that you're going to have multiple streams of income. That multiple stream of income may be from investments. That multiple stream of income may be from you doing multiple things. You may have a side job. You may have multiple businesses. But I want you to start thinking about and understanding that in order to build wealth, build net worth, there have to be multiple means of income coming in so that your assets grow as your liabilities decrease. I hope this has been beneficial to you. I hope that you are staying faithful to yourself, focused on your goals, and committed to your plan. I'm Sheila Wilkinson-Sanders, and I hope you have a wonderfully blessed and supreme day.